I'm gonna preface this by saying this is stuff I wrote down getting ready for today's stream. It's not everything I want to say. I just needed to kind of like get all my thoughts out there to y'all, because last week Twitch rolled out using basically all of your content to train Amazon's AI. If you don't know me or my content, let me tell you, I do not support generative AI in any way, shape, or form. Everything I do is 100% human made, from my vtuber model to my stream overlays, my videos on YouTube, my thumbnails, everything, my emotes. It's all made by artists or by myself. It is not made by the machine. It's not made by any chat GPT, anything like that. And I will never, ever consent to any of my content or videos or messages or my likeness to be used to train any AI, and that also includes my voice and stuff like that. At the end of the day, generative AI steals. It is also really bad for the environment, and I don't support it. Simple as that, and that's what I wanted to start off before going in to this conversation. There has been points where Twitch has thought, and other people have thought, that VTubers are AI, which is most certainly not the case at all. But I just want to make it very clear that me, myself, Vanna, okay, I don't support this. I know everyone's opinions are different, but if you disagree that Gen AI is bad, please do your research. The more you dive into it, the more you will see how unethical and damaging it is, not only to our planet, but also just as humanity. An important part of being a creative or a content creator or a streamer or a human in general is the human aspect. Okay, the creativity that humans have that a machine, I know, can't ever do. As someone who works in a creative career for my day job, generative AI can never create that. It can never capture that. Also, don't want to leave any room for people to be like, well, she hasn't ever straight up said no. No, this is me straight up saying no. And going forward, for any of my videos that I post, I will include a disclaimer at the bottom. It basically says what I just said, but condensed and made a lot more clear and easy to read. That's part one of my TED Talk done. Piggybacking off of that, last week, Twitch was like, we're going to opt in everybody automatically into having your videos, your messages, basically anything you do on Twitch, we're going to feed it to Amazon's AI to train it. I talked about it briefly in my stream last week. I didn't talk about it as in depth as I wanted to. So that's also why I'm talking more in depth about it now, taking the time to do it, because it's really important as a creator, as small as I may be, to be vocal about this, because at the end of the day, the louder we scream and we yell and the more understanding, I think that's a big part, is why so many people, the layman, if you will, is accepting and welcoming of generative AI, is because they don't understand all the nuance and all of the repercussions that generative has as like a price tag for it. And it's also going to mean there will be some changes going forward to how I do my content. There have been staffers that have come out and said this was forced upon us by Amazon, which I don't doubt. I do think this was driven by Amazon, because it's no secret that Twitch is basically just a money pit for Amazon. It is not the moneymaker they were hoping, which is why so many changes over the last few years, from, creating Partner Plus, where now being a partner doesn't guarantee you a 50-50 split, to this opt-out choice of having your content, your messages being used to train Amazon's AI. Those are just things that Twitch is increasingly becoming a place where I view it as kind of a ticking time bomb. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, but there are going to be more and more changes that I think are very anti-creator, that I don't see it coming out good or well for any creator until the AI bubble bursts, which, as much as I want it to be tomorrow, it's not going to happen. It's going to take time. So ask your favorite creators, hey, did you opt out of this? Because it's important that you know. And if you haven't opted out yet yourself, this is your reminder. Go opt out now. Say no to having your content and your messages, your personality essentially, being used to train Amazon's crappy Gen AI model. Unfortunately, Twitch is like my main place. It is where I have been for a majority of my online life. My account is well over 10 years old at this point. I've been streaming as a VTuber for coming up on 5 years now. And I've been streaming in general for like 8.5, 9 years. It's a really long time. So I've been around. I've been around for a really long time. And Twitch is kind of where I've invested most of my time into. So it's really disheartening to see these changes. Along with this Twitch change, I also kind of have a life change coming up that I want to talk about. It's nothing big. It's nothing crazy. Most of you may know this, but in case you don't, I do have a full-time job. I do not do streaming or content creation full-time. I have a job where I work 40 hours a week, and streaming is one of those things I kind of do as a hobby, but also it's always been a pipe dream of mine to be a creator. You know, in high school, junior high, especially in junior high, I watched so many like Markiplier, Achievement Hunter, I watched basically until I graduated from college. So I watched Achievement Hunter for probably a really long time. A really long time, like also 10 years. And that has always been my dream, to be a creator, to make YouTube videos and be a silly guy on the internet. My job, I have primarily been work from home. I've been remote for going on 5 years now. And they have notified me that I will be asked, aka forced, to start going into the office twice per week. I do not know when that is happening. I have just been told that it will be happening at some point before the end of this year. Which, if you haven't heard me talk about the struggles of my current job, that's only going to make it more of a struggle for me, not only work-wise, but also as someone who is neurodivergent and has struggled on and off for many years with burnout. On top of that, having to add in going from working remotely and not having to worry about an hour and a half of commuting every day, on top of having to, you know, put on makeup and act and put on a mask, essentially, both metaphorically, but also kind of physically with the amount of makeup that I am comfortable wearing. It's going to be a big change. And I was hoping that I would be able to get more time before having to worry about this change. I knew it was coming, but I was hoping it was going to take a bit longer than this. But again, I still don't have a timeline. They could come to me next week and be like, it's starting in September, or it could be closer towards the end of the year. I don't know at this point. It's very much out of my hands. But this will limit my ability to add more streams to my schedule, which sucks because that was a goal of mine for this year. I did want to try and start testing out streaming 3 times a week. And it's just a big bummer that this is happening with work, because I know for me, I've tried. The reason why I've been able to stream so consistently these last, going on 5 years is because I have been able to work from home. And so it makes it a lot easier for me to fit in streams because I don't have to worry about a commute. I also don't have to worry about my energy being totally spent from work as much. I have a bit of a buffer in that way from working from home. And now it's flipping to, I don't have that buffer. And there's more things to consider now. I know my the levels are definitely going to be different. And I know it's going to be mentally a challenge for me to go back to work 2 days a week into the office. So that means the 2-day-a-week, Tuesday and Thursday schedule is staying. But outside of that, I can't promise any more streams. even if I want to. I know that if I pushed myself to try and fit in a third stream here or there, that would definitely be pushing my limits and pushing me into burnout, which is what I don't want. And when I first started streaming 8-9 years ago, I tried doing it while I was working in an office job at the time, and it was very hard. It was mentally a struggle, and energy-wise, it just put me in a place where it was hard for me to be consistent, and there were many times where I just disappeared off the face of the earth and told nobody, which is not a good thing if you are any kind of creator. Disappearing off the face of the earth, never good. And that's something I position I don't want to put myself in again, and I would never do that to you guys now, because I genuinely care about the community that I have built up over these past years. Not to be parasocial or anything, but many of you have been here for a while. You've been longtime regulars. Some of you are even OGs still. And you matter to me, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be streaming if it wasn't for your support, and if it wasn't for you continuously motivating me and pushing me to chase my dreams and continue doing what I'm doing. So that's a big life change coming up. That's kind of forcing me to change my perspective on where streaming fits in my life, but also how can I do content creation in a way that isn't going to push me further into burnout. A thing I have been considering is slowly working on a way to finding a different job. Mostly it's probably going to be something where not anytime soon, but the hope is one day I can have the dream job where I can be remote and stream, and hopefully have a bit more flexibility in my life than I do right now, and will be. But until then, what are my future plans? What do I have coming up on top of all of this? Also, hi, Laura. Hi, you came in. You came in after all the seriousness. But it's still some seriousness. It's still a little bit of seriousness, but not really. But a little bit. But a little tiny bit. Before I do that, though, I'm gonna take a little bit. I got hydrate. This is your hydration reminder, chat. Hydrate. So to sum that all up, generative AI sucks. Twitch sucks for implementing the opt-out feature. Amazon sucks for forcing that on Twitch. And I'm going to have to go back to work twice a week, which is going to affect, all of that together is going to affect a lot of the stuff that happens with streams going forward. Nothing bad, but again, like I said, my mindset, my strategy, if you will, is going to be changing a little bit to kind of like think about these things moving forward. And I want to preface all of this by saying this is not something that like, the stuff last week with Twitch really made me start like having a crisis or something like that. No, this is something where I've honestly been thinking about this for a while. I haven't been shy about saying here or there. But I haven't been super vocal about it either, about how I've been feeling a little bit stagnant. Things are starting to feel a little bit monotonous, and I don't like that feeling, because then it feels like I'm on the train to burnout town, and that is not what I want. So this is kind of what happened last week with Twitch's changes, kind of pushed me into, okay, I gotta start doing something different, because if I don't, like, things staying the same are just going to push me further and further towards that burnout and towards a place I really don't want to be in. I want to continue enjoying streaming. I want to continue doing what I'm doing. I want to continue, being a silly little guy on the screen that you guys watch and enjoy, and we can all have fun together. Because at the end of the day, that's why I started doing this. I started doing this because I wanted to have fun with other people who enjoyed the things I enjoyed, and provide a place where people can come and decompress and forget about whatever stresses they were having during the day. And even me, I come to stream sometimes and I'm like, honestly, this has been the thing that has been keeping me going all day, because work has been stressy and now I get to stream and just kind of let loose and have fun and vibe with y'all. So on to this. My future plans. Probably should have switched to the screen sooner, because I did have kind of some of the stuff I was talking about in it, but it's fine. It's fine. We're doing it now. I finally remembered. Anyways, so what are my future plans? What are my goals? What is all this stuff, Vanna? Tell us the stuff. Sure, I will tell you the things, chat. I will tell you my thoughts. So the big one is, let me zoom this. Let me make this nice and big. There we go. That's nice and big. Nice and big. So, number one, have different monetization options. So this is something I've been thinking about for a while. I'll be honest, I've half-assed this here or there. I've tried to like quietly do this, but also haven't fully committed to it. And it's one of those things that, especially now where changes like Twitch has made, and rightfully so, viewers are starting to leave the platform, which I totally understand. They're starting to cancel their subs. They don't want to give Twitch money anymore. I 100% understand that. But that also affects the creators you are watching, because we have no control over these changes. We are at the beck and call of whatever platform we're on. If Twitch wants to decide tomorrow, the whole art, the artistic noodles, the artistic noodles, wink, wink, where there was booba and more for that day on Twitch. If they decide to do that again, or something even more half-baked like this, opting everyone in automatically to generative AI training, that's a change that we as creators can't control. And I don't want to work super hard and invest more time into Twitch and stuff like that to potentially have that stream of income disappear. Now, I will also say I don't rely on Twitch in any way, shape, or form for my expenses IRL. That is what my day job does. Day job money covers my day job expenses, paying my rent, my bills, all of that stuff. That is what my 9 to 5 covers. What Twitch money and any money I make from content creation covers is content creation. So that's the money that goes into me doing stuff on stream, which is why, I've had goals for like models and things like that, a new desk, all of that stuff. The stuff that's related to me streaming and creating content, that's all stuff that the Twitch money goes towards. So I am in no way, shape, or form as affected by a dip in Twitch revenue or, subs or anything like that, as some other creators are. Other creators rely on Twitch 100% as their form of income, and those people are affected the most, which sucks. But if I want to try and do more with my streaming and content creation, I think it's just good in general for anyone to just kind of have different monetization options, have different ways for you guys to choose to support me. So if Twitch all of a sudden did decide, hey, we're now taking 80% of all your income and you only get 20, we have options. We're like, you know what? That's okay. All my money didn't come from Twitch anyways. So kind of what I talked about last week, I do have a Ko-fi or Ko-fi page, or Ko-fi page, where it's ko-fi.com/Vanaquin. Okay, I do have that. You can go there right now. That is how I get any tips. So if you're like, hey, I want to support you with a one-time tip, that is how you can do that. It's a great way to support me or any creator that has a similar page, because I keep more of the revenue. That's one of the pros here. That's one of the pros of this. I keep more of the revenue, 90% or more, depending on conversion and then platform fees and stuff like that. It really depends. But for the most part, I keep more of the money, and that's important. That is super important, because Twitch takes half my money right now. So, you know, $1 on Twitch, I only get 50 cents, but $1 on, you know, Ko-fi, I get, you know, 90 cents. That's a big difference. That does add up. You might think as a viewer, that's not a lot, but it does add up, right? If 10 of you gave $1 each, you know, in theory, that would be $10 minus, you know, 5 to 10% platform fee, depending. So like $9 or more, you know? And that's a big difference than Twitch, where if everyone gave $1 for $10 on Twitch would only be like 50%, well, 50% of that in subs. If there was, you know, $1 sub, bits, like to give me like 10,000 bits or $10 worth. It's ridiculous. It's how much is it in Canadian right now? If I wanted 10,000 bits, I can't share my own channel. No, just show me how much it is. But it's something really stupid. What is it? Is it? It's required. Oh, okay. I didn't know I could redeem my own bark. Ignore that. I'm just trying to find out how much it costs. Let's see. Guide to cheering with bits. Yes, thank you. Yes, can you just tell me how much the bits cost? I should have done my research before this, chat. I should have done this beforehand, but alas, I only came half prepared. And that's okay. Okay, can I just... Let's see. Let's just see. Let me just go into someone's channel really quick. Let me just go into a random channel and see how much a Canadian bit costs. How much? Let me see. How much does it cost? If I wanted bits right now, it would cost. Sure. Okay, got it. Cool. If I wanted enough bits to give $10, please get bits. Thank you. Okay. So if I wanted to get the minimum amount required in Canadian dollars, as of right now, I think I would have to pay $27.05 if I wanted to give a creator on Twitch $10. So $10. All right. So I have to pay, and that's $10 USD. So I'm paying $27 Canadian to give a creator $10 USD. Okay. That's basically, well, conversion. I don't even think that's close. What is? Okay. So if I want to do that Canadian dollar to Canadian dollar, cool. Okay. So you're paying double. If I have to pay $27 to give someone $10 of bits, no, that's not right. I'm getting all mixed up. No, that's right. Right. Yeah. 100 is $1. Thank you. Okay. Yes. So bits, you know, bits are not great. So I'm having, if I want to give someone the changes, $13 Canadian in bits, I have to pay Twitch $27. Twitch is basically, again, taking half, right? But equating that to supporting me on my Ko-fi page or on my loot drop memberships, which is like my equivalent of my own Patreon. It's basically a different platform. It's powered by Fourth Wall, where it's basically Patreon, except it's not Patreon, which Patreon is its own can of worms that I won't go into. But again, there I still keep, as opposed to Twitch, I still keep a significant amount. You could check out my loot drop page. where I also keep more of the revenue. There are different tiers. I will be reworking them at some point. That ties into all this. But if you want to support me and you genuinely care about where your money is going and you want to like have an impact in a monetary way, coffee or my memberships. And that goes for any creator. If they have a Patreon, support them on Patreon. Right? There are so many different, you'll see a lot of creators having these different platforms because the monetization on Twitch is so terrible. And so having these different options goes a long way. And also if you're a sub on Twitch currently, like Fourth Wall integrates, so Twitch subs get a discount. At least for me, I have it set up. Twitch subs get a discount on my memberships on my separate website. So it's good to have those options, and I want you guys to be aware of those options, and I'm going to be trying my darndest to make those options better and kind of like promote them more, because I don't really promote them right now. And part of that is it's hard to get people to convert over, and which is true. It's very hard to convert people. Anything to get people from Twitch to go and do something else, conversion rate is like 1% or less, maybe 2 if you're really good, right? If you're a big streamer with a big following with a very dedicated community, you might see more. It really just depends. But why is Vantage talking about this? Why should we care about supporting her on, Coffee, Ko-fi, whatever, or her memberships? Well, I keep more of the revenue. Obviously, I've kind of said that one a million times now. I can tie in perks much easier to discounts or exclusive content. As of right now, if you support me on Twitch, the only perks I guess you get, for the longest time, the only perk you got was emotes. And Discord and Discord integration, right? You get to have a separate Discord channel just for the subs and emotes. That was it. That was the benefit. But if you support me, this is mostly for the coffee doesn't get any of this. It's just for, I'm purely talking about with my separate memberships. You go over to my memberships. I do have like exclusive content, sneak peeks, all that stuff. And eventually merch discounts. I am looking into getting some merch up there, some options. I have some things in my brain that I just need to get into action, which is a big part of this. And I have control over pricing. Chat, I can make the pricing better. Instead of you paying $5, $6, $7 to Twitch, I can be like, no, just give me like $1. Give me $3. I have control over the pricing, so I can adjust it if I'm feeling at a point that I'm like, man, I want to have people, and I've been thinking about this, just be able to show a little extra support with like a free tier. There's a free tier. You can join memberships for free. You don't get anything extra, but you can comment and post. You can see my free posts, stuff like that. Or have a $1 tier where it's like, if you just want to give me $1 a month, I'd be so appreciative of that. You get, a little extra, right? A little goes a long way when it comes to supporting your creators. And me having control over pricing means if I put the price down or create a new tier, that's something I choose. Whereas right now, Twitch controls it. Twitch controls the pricing. I don't get to say what the prices of the subs on my channel are. Twitch is. And I can't adjust that based on what my community, needs are in a way. And my loot drop memberships, in case you didn't know this, Fourth Wall has the great feature where I can not only run my own promotions on subs, like September, which is coming up, but you can also gift subs. That's right. That's right. You can actually, if you go to my membership page on shop.vanaquin.lol/loot drop, okay, loot-drop, you can gift subs to the chat too. It's just like Twitch, except the benefit is Twitch gets less of the money, I get more of the money, which means I can do more stuff for streams and do cooler things and do stuff that I want to do that I can't because Some of the ideas I have involve a lot of dollar redos, like a fancy lore video. That requires some dollar redos. So it's one of those things where the pros are pretty good. Chat, am I selling you? Am I selling you on subscribing to my memberships, to my loot drops at shop.vanaquin.lol/loot-drop? Am I doing it? Am I shilling enough? I feel like I'm shilling enough. But, you know, I don't want you to feel like I'm shilling this because I'm like, give me money. It's like, no, I don't want y'all to feel like you have to give me money for me to like be appreciative of your support. There are lots of free ways that I always talk about that you can support me for spending $0, such as resharing my posts on Blue Sky, watching my YouTube videos, leaving comments on YouTube videos, liking my YouTube videos, you know, sending a clip you find funny to your friends. All of this stuff are things that you can do for free where you don't have to support if you aren't financially able. And that's always my biggest thing. If you feel like you're going to be stressed monetarily supporting me, you don't have to do it. Please take care of yourself first. I am just a silly guy on the internet. I don't need, you know, I'm in no way, shape, or form in desperation, right? There are people out there who definitely need the money more than I do. So if you're financially able to support me, please consider, you know, my coffee page or memberships as an alternative to Twitch, because that's where you're supporting me more directly. Whereas if you sub on Twitch, your support, 50% of your support goes towards Twitch. And yes, Twitch controlling the pricing is super egregious when it comes to rev share. I agree with that, especially with some of the promotions lately where they're like, we'll give like sub discounts, but like we'll only cover 50% of the discount and then the creator eats the other 50. It's like, what? Like, why would I, as a smaller creator, dollars kind of mean more? It would definitely affect larger creators, but they can kind of eat more of that like rev share sort of thing when it comes to certain promotions than I can as a smaller creator, for sure. Let me hydrate really quick. I'm so sorry for the ad break. I didn't realize. I kind of got lost in the sauce. I was kind of just yapping. And got lost in the sauce and didn't realize the ad break was so soon. I saw it and it was like in 10 minutes. And I was like, hey, I got time. And then I was like talking halfway through this and I was like, crap, the ads. So sorry to everyone watching the ads. This will be up. This VOD will stay up. And I also might cut this down to put onto YouTube. But I digress. The only thing's keeping me from really pushing different monetization options right now is kind of that fear of like, it's hard to convert people over. And Twitch subs or bits are much easier for viewers to do on Twitch because you're already watching me on Twitch. Most of you, right? I know I'm multi-streaming right now, but like most people that are watching on Twitch, it's much easier for them to just hit the subscribe button on Twitch or the get bits button. It's because it's built into the platform. Whereas trying to say, hey, go to the separate platform naturally anytime. And I know this because I work in marketing and communications and websites and all that fun stuff. Every time you introduce another action someone has to take to do the thing they want to do, it decreases the chance of them doing that thing. So, anytime you add an extra step, an extra click for you to like support me, well, if it's just a one tap, you know, maybe 2 taps on Twitch, depending, for you to support me on Twitch versus if I have to have you click over to a separate website and kind of leave the stream already, like that's a barrier that most people aren't going to go the extra mile for. And that's just psychology and user experience and all that fun stuff, which I won't get into. And it's also more ingrained in the culture of Twitch versus YouTube, right? I see a lot of channels that have really big followings on YouTube, but they're like, yeah, my memberships, like I don't really have many memberships. Like I don't have many members because for the longest time, YouTube didn't have that. For the longest time, it was just subscribe. And now, you know, ever since they introduced memberships, it's it's something where people are starting to do it, but it's still one of those things where YouTube is very passive in a way. And that's kind of the culture of difference between like YouTube culture and Twitch culture. Twitch culture, Twitch, you know, where streamers, at least I am from my perspective, streamers are all about engaging with the community. That's why we're talking live. If we didn't care about engaging with people, we would be on YouTube. Whereas YouTube, you know, is very passive, and it's kind of one of those, you're just kind of another video in the feed, and people, it takes more time to build a community on YouTube versus Twitch. You can build a very engaged community very quickly. You can have a small community, but they can be really engaged. And I've seen a lot of creators who do have, you know, quote unquote, smaller followings on Twitch, but the community is super engaged and super supportive. And that makes all the difference. So, and that's one of the big things with trying to encourage supporting elsewhere is we're already on Twitch, so why not just support on Twitch, right? That's kind of the comeback thinking that people have. And also a big thing of being on Twitch is emotes, right? On Twitch, you subscribe to me, you're like, wow, I get these silly little goofy emotes that you can also use in my Discord, exclamation point Discord, cough, cough, exclamation point Discord, which you can use them. And if you have Nitro, you can use them anywhere, but don't have Nitro, we don't support Discord. And that's a whole other conversation, but just don't get Nitro. But you can use them in my server, in my Discord, but you can also use them on Twitch. And that's a big thing, right? If I all of a sudden was like, I'm demonetizing my Twitch, which I know some people have, and I totally respect that. But a big thing with that is people want the emotes. And yes, you could have the emotes for free if you have like separate third-party extensions like Better Twitch TV or, you know, Franker's Faces, BTTV and FFZ respectively. Those are extensions you can get for your browser where you can, you know, you see all the silly, goofy, trending emotes. Those are all through that. But that also still relies on someone having that extension, right? Or making sure that you have those emotes enabled to be used across Twitch, which is also something that someone would have to pay for in that extension, but I digress. Basically, the draw of subbing on Twitch is, hey, I get silly little emotes I can use anywhere and everywhere I want on Twitch. And that's kind of fun. That's the big draw. And I think that's always kind of been the draw. Secondary to, I know a lot of people have actually just subbed for silly emotes and they don't really watch the creator. If they've only watched the creator in passing, but they're like, I just really like the emotes, so I'm going to sub for the emotes. So it's like the emotes are can be the main reason, and supporting the creator is kind of the second reason, right? But if I have you guys support elsewhere, I don't have emotes to give you, you know? I don't have emotes to give you, but I would if I could. If there was a platform that like, gosh golly, you could have people subscribe here and they can use your emotes in your Twitch channel or wherever, I'd be like, heck yes, I'm going over there, but that doesn't exist yet. To my knowledge. And I don't think it ever will. So at the end of the day, all of this in mind, these are just my thoughts as a creator. But this is what I will be doing is I will be encouraging more support outside of Twitch. I will also be working on revamping my memberships. I have some ideas. I just need to sit down and really go over that, because another thing is too, is I don't, with the upcoming changes to my work schedule, and how it is right now, I don't stand to like have a lot of exclusive content. And that's like the biggest draw to any external platform from like Twitch or wherever, is like, come to my Patreon and get exclusive, you know, bloopers, or get this video uncensored, uncut. Like, I don't have that right now. I would love to, but that's just something where that's like a 5-year dream down the road, where maybe one day if I'm able to like make that happen, I would love to make that happen. But as right now, I can't do that. So I kind of feel weird saying like, support me here. You give me more, you know, you can support me here and give me money here, but I don't really have much to give in return right now. And that makes me feel guilty in a way, because I'm like, I feel like I'm like taking your money and giving you nothing for it. Which some people might be like, no, Vanna, like I'm getting entertainment value and I want to support you and all that. And I get that. I understand that. But it's just it's a personal thing for me, or where I'm like, I just feel a little weird. I feel weird about people giving me money, and I feel like I'm not I'm just gonna sit here taking the money, you know? But so that's my first future plan. My Ko-Fi page is always going to be there. It's a great way to give one-off tips or contribute towards my goals. Right now I have my goal up there to have a fun zany PNG model of my Wolf Boss's Day Off outfit. So if you want to contribute one-time tips over there, that's where you can do that. Or if you want to support me more like Patreon style, my memberships are on my loot drop page, shop.vanaquin.lol/loot-drop. You can go and support me there. Currently, I won't be updating those memberships, but they're not updated yet. So if you go there now, you might be like, wow, it feels like I'm not getting a lot. And it's true, you're not getting a lot, but I'm hoping to change that. I'm hoping to find a way, a balance. And that's what this all is. At the end of this whole rant chat, the goal is balance. Balance. That's what I want. I want more balance from streaming. I don't want it to be a suck. I don't want it to be just a constant high. I want to have balance between the two, an ebb and a flow. All right, I need to stop. I need to stop for a minute and just take a breath. I feel like I'm just rambling on and on and on and on and on. Gotta take a breath. I gotta take a sip. Ben, I'm sorry. There we go. How are you doing? I know I'm kind of rambling here, so thank you for sticking with me. Dude, hello, how are you? Welcome on in. Oh my gosh, I have to cough. Give me a second. Welcome on in. I promise this isn't going to be too much more rambly. I'm trying to keep it like short and sweet, but I also know I have an inability to keep things short and sweet. But we're like over halfway done. We're over halfway done. My things here. As you see me scroll down to this part. So I've yapped about monetization and where you can support me. Now you know. Now you know where you can support me. What are my other future plans? Well, the second thing is we talked about diversifying where I make my money for content creation, or how I make money for content creation. The other thing is just diversifying my content in a while. Again, similar to the last one, it's so important to diversify as a creator in general, because if you rely on a single platform and a bad business decision is made and the platform, you know, starts slowly dying off, or people start moving other places, you won't be stuck between a rock and a hard place because your one source of content or income or whatever is greatly affected, you know? Always happy to support the chaotic nonsense that happens here. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Abby. I do appreciate it. It's one of those things where I still, even this, having been doing this for as long as I have, I still feel weird about people giving me money. And it's a thing I have to be like, no, people are giving it to you because they want to and not because you're forcing them to, and they do genuinely like enjoy your stuff. But it's just a little voice in my head that I have to like, it's slowly like not being, you know, as front of my mind. But I do appreciate any and all support, whether it's, you know, just liking my posts on Blue Sky, sharing my posts on Blue Sky, watching my YouTube videos, talking in my Discord, you know, any of that, all the way up to, yes, the people who do, you know, drop bits and subs and all of that. I appreciate everyone's support, and I'm always very grateful for anyone's support, because at the end of the day, I don't, how do I word this? At the end of the day, you guys don't owe me anything. I'm just a silly guy on the internet. So I am humbled by any form of support, because I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy doing my thing, yapping about stuff, you know? I'm just a guy. I put the pin in content creation. Ooh. That's a good pin. That actually turned out really nice, chaotic. Heck yes. That looks really good. It looks really good. Now let me doop. Doop, doop, doop. Let me see if I can add it here. Doo, doo. Bow, 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 bow. Add new. Actually, wait, where is it? File, Explorer. Let me put this on before I continue my rant. Gotta put it in the right folders, chat. Okay, beautiful. Chef's kiss. All right, that's put in that folder, and now it needs to go to this folder, items. It needs to go to this folder. Beautiful. Okay, now I can put it on. I can put it on my body, chat. My body. There we go. Beautiful. Gorgeous. There we go. Oh, okay, not myself. No, not my... Okay, that was the wrong button. Why do I keep... I really gotta switch the placement. I don't know why all of a sudden my brain is like the Vine Boom and WoW are switched. But they aren't. They haven't changed placements at all. They haven't changed where they are at all. They haven't.
That's quite big. Impressive.
I know what you were doing there. You were so close. You were so close with the timing. So close. So close. Yes, I was quite big there for a moment, chat. Thank you for noticing. Thank you for noticing. All right. Resuming the rant here. Resuming the rant. So, diversifying YouTube content. It's just a better move overall. And this is something I've always wanted to, not to sew, to do. The dyslexia chat. The dyslexia. Or something, or me typing really fast. I don't know. I've noticed I've been doing that a lot lately, where I'm like switching letters around slightly, or pressing the button of like one slightly next to it. Anyways, that's a different thing. I digress. All right. So, yeah, this is something I've wanted to do, like, since I kind of, like I was talking about earlier, like, I have been wanting to stream, not to stream. I mean, I've been wanting to stream since I found out about streaming. I thought that was really cool. But I've always wanted to do, like, YouTube content. Ever since I was, like, watching Achievement Hunter, and I saw the fun they were having and all the shenanigans they were getting into. And I would watch, like, you know, I watched Markiplier for a little bit. I watched PewDiePie, like, before they were really big. And as they were starting to get big, there were all of these people I was watching where I was like, they're having so much fun playing video games, and they get to do that as their job. And that's something I want to do because I love video games and I want to have fun and have that be my job, because that just seems like a good time. Who doesn't want to play video games and every day, you know? Like, that's the dream. And that's still kind of like with the rose-colored glasses on of like a teen, like, you know, preteen or young teenager, you know. Fast forward to now, and all I know about content creation, and it's not always that simple or fun. There's a lot of, you know, stress and time you have to put into it. But all that aside, there's still the little kid in me that's like, I want to be like Achievement Hunter was. I want to be like PewDiePie, you know. I want to be like all those guys. I want to be like all of them, or like Aurelian, right? There's so many creators I've watched throughout junior high and high school, even into college, where it was like they were just they played video games, they had fun with it, they shared their passions, and they got to, you know, do it, and that was their job. And that's where I aspire to be. I want to do something I enjoy for my job, but that also, you know, helps me kind of create that same space for others, because I know when I was struggling through a lot of stuff throughout my life, it's those creators that like helped me kind of escape, or help me, made me laugh when I really wanted to cry, or made me smile when I was like on the brink of just, spiraling. Which I don't talk about that a lot. I have moved past a lot of that, but there are still moments. There are still moments when I spiral a little bit here or there, not to the same extent. But that's more so a me thing and having to be better, creating my own boundaries and stuff like that. But that's not the point of this chat here. The point of this chat here is I want to make more YouTube videos, which is a really daunting thing for me and a thing I have never been able to tackle really well, or if at all. The closest I got was to doing the like weekly clips, or clip short. That was the closest I ever really got with some clip compilations. I've never done kind of more classic YouTube, long form YouTube videos. And that's what I want to try and do, because it's something I've wanted to do. It's something that also scares me a little bit, but it's also something where it's like, I just need to do it. I've been thinking about it for too long that I'm getting to the point where, like, if I don't do it, I'm never going to do it, and I just need to do it. Because I might find something new, which I talk about here. But good thing about this is, again, not relying on a single platform. I'd still be streaming on Twitch, and I'm also monthly streaming on YouTube, but it just provides another form of content that you guys can watch and other people can hopefully discover me by discoverability, because we all know Twitch has terrible discoverability. So being on YouTube, that's two places people can find me, but also YouTube just has better discoverability, at least for videos. Streams, still not great. I'd say still, at least Twitch, you can at least find streams on Twitch, because that's what Twitch is. It's for streams. Whereas YouTube, unless you're really engaging with streams or like have creators that stream, you're never going to find a stream. It's very hard to find a stream on YouTube outside of that. And I can also try new things or content or formats that might not work well on streams. There are some things where I'm like, I love playing Skyrim, right? But my PC setup right now doesn't really let me play modded Skyrim without it like crying, without it pushing it to the limit and feeling like I'm kind of like not being able to like provide the experience I want. Whereas like if I did in like a traditional like YouTube let's play for that, or there are some games that I'm like, I don't think these would be good for streams, but like it would be hilarious for me to just sit down and play a little, like do a silly little challenge run in like, I don't know, Pal World or something, right? Like there's things where I'm like, they might fit better in a YouTube video, or they might work perfectly well on stream, but I just don't have like the way to convert it into stream format. So it's one of those things where, again, YouTube content it's a potential for me to try new stuff and do new things. I have ideas also for like about doing more like kind of like videos for like chilling too. Like people tell me all the time, they're like, Vanna, I literally watch your streams to fall asleep to them. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm honored because I don't think my voice is that soothing, but I'm glad you think my yapping is soothing enough for you to fall asleep to. So maybe that's something. Chat, I can't tell you how many people I see now, at least for like, for example, I love watching like history creators and stuff like that. And like the classic like little stick figure guy talking to you about history stuff with some animations in the background. I can't tell you how many of those channels I watch, but then they also take their videos and put them into 2-hour-long compilations that are tailored for you to like sleep to. They're like 2 hours of history to help you fall asleep. And I was like, can I do that? But like, it's just me like, yapping to you about a random special interest. Possibly. Will that do good? I don't know. Would I like to try it? Absolutely. But that might not make the best stream, because that's something where it's like you wouldn't want all these sound effects and stuff blasted in your ear. You wouldn't want me going, fine boob, as you're trying to sleep, Like imagine trying to fall asleep to that. Maybe some people would, there are some louder creators where I've watched their streams to fall asleep to them. And it sometimes works, but also I know a lot of people that's not what they want to hear to fall asleep to. So it's one of those things where it's like, if I actually try doing YouTube, I can try out some different things or try out some things I've wanted to do, but I'm like, I haven't been able to do, right? Or I can try it in a YouTube video and then maybe bring it over to a Twitch or vice versa. You know, it gives me the option to like try something new and mix up the monotony that I've been feeling with just streaming all the time, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not upset that I've been streaming all the time. I love streaming. That's why I keep doing it. But at the same time, we gotta spice things up. And I think that's a way to do that. But also it can also be really hard to get people, kind of like I've said earlier, where like if you have a main platform, convincing people to come from a different platform to your main platform can be really hard sometimes. Because some people just like staying, you know? Some people really just like scrolling on TikTok and they're never, ever, ever going come over onto your Twitch. Or the flip side where they come over to your Twitch and it's not matching the vibes in the clip, which I realize I definitely have done. You know, I've looked back at some of my clips and I was like, yeah, my streams are definitely not like this all the time. I'm not talking about Minotaur milk all the time or barking all the time. That's the big one, the barking, chat. People think I bark all the time, which I really don't. And that kind of put me in the box of being the vtuber, which I meme on. But it's also a box that sets an expectation that is not the reality of my streams. I am not over here barking for 15 minutes. That was a meme thing I did for like the subathon, right? And it's that kind of disconnect that I kind of want to like bridge the gap of a little bit. Hi, what a time to come in. Hi, how are you? Hi, hello. We're yapping over here about YouTube content and stuff. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Yeah. So YouTube content, it's something where I want to try doing more of, but I also want to bridge the gap a bit more between my streams and like content I would put on YouTube, because my shorts right now aren't necessarily representative of like my streams, right? Clips, at least clip culture now is very much like clip the most outrageous stuff and like because you care about the views on that platform. But in reality, and this is something I learned from watching Ludwig's streamer video, is Twitch. In the world of content creation for streamers specifically, Twitch is the most valuable platform because that's where people are most engaged with a streamer and their content, right? You guys are actively chatting. You guys are actively hyping me up, actively interacting with me with redeems and stuff like that. And from a more business side of thinking, if you will, that's super valuable because that means it's much easier to get you guys to, you know, engage with merch drops or sponsorships or whatever it may be. Whereas with other platforms, like I was talking about YouTube, people don't really like that. They don't like the ad reads. They don't, you know, it's not as easy, or they're not as inclined to like support like a sponsorship or merch or anything, because most people on YouTube that are watching your videos, at least for a smaller creator, don't actually know about you. So why would they be invested in that? Where on Twitch, you guys know about me. Most of you guys have been here a long time. So you know, you know me very well, and you're more inclined to support me. So that's one con that's like, kind of like, it scares me about YouTube, because I'm like, no, I won't get the instant dopamine hit on YouTube as I do on Twitch sometimes. Because that's just the name of the game on YouTube. It's a whole different world than streaming. And that also ties into the YouTube requirements that they're bumping up next year for you to get monetized. They're essentially doubling it, which I am super far away on my main channel for monetization. I'm halfway towards the watch hours on my VOD channel, but I'm super far away on the subs. And that's the flip for my main channel, where I'm well over the sub level as it is right now, but I'm way behind on the watch hours and the watch time because I don't really post long form content there. So it's one of those things where, like, if I start doing it now, if I start trying to make YouTube content now, I'd have to really try and push to, like, get it done before these changes roll out. Otherwise, it's going to be a harder thing to accomplish, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And I think if I put my mind to YouTube enough, I could do it. But it just makes it more daunting than it already is. And I'm already someone that's, like, kind of scared of doing YouTube content, not from the point of, like, being scared, like, oh no, like, people are going to perceive me. No, I got used to that a long time ago. I wouldn't be talking about Minotaur milk and Mpreg if I wasn't, which I don't talk about often, I swear. But it's that scare of, like, failure, or, like, the imposter syndrome that I talked about, or me being a perfectionist and being like, my videos won't be up to the same standard as insert every big creator, a gaming creator ever, right? But at the same time, I shouldn't let that stop me. I've been letting that kind of stop me for, like, a while now. And now I kind of just want to say, you know what? I just got to do it. Don't forget SIP. You're right. I also can't forget about the SIP. I can't forget about the SIP. You're right. I got to talk about SIP more. SIP, Minotaur milk, and Mpreg. Anyways. So that's one of the things that have always, like, kept me off of YouTube. Monetization going up next year, that's kind of a turn off, but also, like, it's more of a time investment and strategy, because you have, at least with streams, I just go live and I can do my thing. I don't have to worry about cutting stuff out, or, like, following along with my script, or, like, going on really long tangents like I like to do, because brain goes burr. But with, like, YouTube, like, I got to sit down and actually think about more, like, if I want to take it, I say seriously, but, like, if I want to, it's kind of like, if I'm putting in the time for YouTube, I want to put in the time right. Because if I have, excuse my French, not that I'm afraid of swearing or anything, this is going to be the second swear of the stream. If I half-ass it, if I half-ass the YouTube videos, which I've kind of have been doing, if you haven't noticed, where it's just kind of been, I've just put up shorts, like, last year, or, like, this year, my main channel has been dead, afar from, like, me multi-streaming. Like, I don't want to half-ass YouTube anymore. I either want to go all in with YouTube, and if I'm going to start putting the time and the effort into making YouTube videos, I want to try and, like, set them up for success as much as I'm able to, as, like, essentially a YouTube noob, right? So, but that requires a lot of time and a little bit of strategy, which for me, as I talked about earlier, having to start going back into the office twice a week, it's a little daunting to think about, because I'm offsetting, like, the 2 days that I stream, I can't go into the office those days. So there's 3 other days a week that I have to choose to go into the office, and I'm not going into the office on Fridays. So that only leaves me with, like, 1 day a week that I'm really going to be having, like, well, not free creative time, but, like, more opportunity to create, and more. So it's like, if I'm only going to have, like, certain hours that I can put into doing YouTube, I want to make sure, like, I'm making the best out of them I can. And also imposter syndrome and perfectionist. If you don't know me, Chan, I have mega imposter syndrome, and I am a huge perfectionist. And that is a blessing and a curse, at least the perfectionist parts, because it's really good for my job, because, well, it's a blessing and a curse for my job, because I exceed everybody's expectations, so I always have to exceed expectations, but it's a really detailed-oriented job, so, like, it works both against and for me. But on the flip side, when it comes to content creation, the big part of that you'll see anyone say when they give you tips about content creation and creating content is to just do it, because you're never going to do it if you just don't do it. If you wait for your content, your editing to be as good as, like, Mr. Beast, who can pay the best editors in the world. I don't know if they're the best. I don't watch Mr. Beast, so they could be the worst editors in the world, but they're really good at a specific style. I don't know. But anyways, like, if I keep on trying to compare myself to creators who can invest in people, helping them, who can have teams editing videos, posting, helping with social media, having teams do production and stuff like that. Like, if I compare myself to those people, I'm never going to get anything done, because I'm never going to be at that level, because I am really a novice when it comes to YouTube. Also, hi, June. How are you? Hi, how are you? It's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good Arvo. I used that right. I hope. I hope, right? I used that correctly. Gary said I didn't know any Australian slang, and I was like, I'll have you know, I know what arvo means. If you couldn't tell or hear, I'm sipping very smugly on my water, on my straw for my water. So yeah, that's my thing with YouTube. I have big imposter syndrome. I feel like I'm a fake and I'm a failure and I'm a nobody. So like, why is anyone going to watch me? But also I'm a perfectionist and I'm like, well, everything has to be like top, absolutely perfect, perfectly edited, perfectly scripted, all this stuff, best thumbnail ever, otherwise why am I doing this? And that's just not realistic. So I have to kind of like be realistic with my expectations. But also, I just need to do the thing. If I can, if I was able to hit go live once and continue hitting going live, I'm already, kind of doing better than most streamers because fun fact, most streamers hit go live once and then never again. So I'm already kind of over my imposter syndrome for streaming. And I have to get over my imposter syndrome and crippling toxic perfectionism with YouTube content. And then I might be cooking, or I might not be. I just forever might be a little delulu, and that's okay. Also, welcome back, Chaotic. Welcome back. So yeah, diversifying with YouTube content. That's the end of that rant, which leads us into my third and final future plan thing. I didn't write out a lot for it. I don't want to spoil the good news, although I feel like I have. Number 3, I didn't write out a lot for this. I'm mostly just going to yap about this, because it's very simple and straightforward. Revamp the Discord and try to host more community hangouts, more community events, more community. Because for me, the joy and like beauty of content creation and especially streaming is the community you can create and that feeling of being able to come to a place where people get you and understand you. And that's what I really want. At the end of the day, that's all I've ever wanted for streaming is I never set out with this to like make money, even though part of me was a delulu enough to be like, you're going to be a big streamer one day. You just have to keep streaming. That's the delulu in me. But the realist in me is like, no, the whole reason why I started streaming in the first place, which I felt I've kind of go back between like having to constantly remind me of the self is at the end of the day, why did I start streaming? It's because I wanted to find people who enjoyed the games that I enjoyed as much as I enjoyed them and who I could talk about and share those experiences with. And that all comes back to community. So I really want to refocus myself and the Discord on that, especially because outside of streams, that's where the community lives because I'm only streaming twice a week. And so I have to make more of an effort to make the Discord a better place at having that feeling of community, that feeling of, we're all in this place together talking about the stuff we like. And it's not feeling like, right now I just pop in every now and again whenever I can. But I want to like have more events other than like our community nights, right? I want to have more hangouts where it's just more casual and like we're just in VC and maybe I'm playing something in the background, maybe we're playing something together, but we're all just chatting and yapping and just having a good time, So that's what I want. I want to have the Discord to be a place where people can like just come chat, just come. That's it. Just come. Sorry, I tried. I felt like I have been too serious for this whole thing and I needed some comedic relief. And it was that. The brain rot had to come in at some point. Most people give up on their dreams because they asked what if I can't? Me, I ask what if you can? And that's the thing, right? Is I have to flip my mindset because I'm so much like I can do things I put my mind to. I've been able to like get a merch collab with Uwu Market, which I thought I would never be able to get. I've been able to collab with some creators I've really admired. I've been able to make a lot of friends. Thank you for adding that as a quote, Chaotic. I've been able to discover new games. There's so much that streaming and content creation has brought me and that I have been able to accomplish because I just kept on. But now I want to keep on keeping on, but also push myself to do more because I know if I put my mind to something, I can do it. But I just need to have the confidence in myself to overcome, you know, that little imposter syndrome voice in my head that says, oh, I don't know, you can't. That will be a quote at the worst moment or the best moment. Who knows? Who knows? It might be a bit of both. But yes, with community, I want to have more hangouts. I want to encourage more conversations. I want people to feel like it's a place and you kind of, it feels like the good old forum days where you see the regulars and you can ask them like questions. You'll be like, oh, like, did anyone try the latest like Skyrim mod pack or something? I don't know. But you know, I want it to be a place where people feel like they can come, they can be like, hey guys, I'm trying out this crazy playthrough in this. And other people can be like, I've tried something similar. Here's what really worked well. Or you guys can we can all come together and bond over these things, not to be super parasocial, but you know what I mean? Finding that sense of community over common interests. That's what I want the Discord to be more, and I feel like right now is an epic fail at that. And most of that is on me because at the end of the day, as much as I'm like, it's about all of us, it's a community, it's a group, it's a guild, I'm at the head of that community. And so I have to kind of lead it the way I want it to be. And so I have to be a better example of engagement. I have to make more of an active effort in the Discord. I have to make more time to do other community events and cultivate that, because if I don't do it, of course nobody else is going. Of course it's not going to feel that way because I'm not the example of it. So that's my goal. Those are my 3 things, chat. My 3 things I want to do in the future. Be better at offering different ways to support me, different monetization options if we want to be fancy. But basically, that's just really big jargon for find ways to make memberships more fun and appealing, and also remind people you can support me outside of Twitch, which is really important. Also, Mythology, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the guild. I hope you enjoy your time here. We've got plenty of mead, lots of guild rats to go on adventures with. Welcome on in. You've come to the long end of my TED Talk. What's this even about? Great question, Sad, over on YouTube. This is about my thoughts on content creation going forward and my future plans for what I want to do with streaming and content creation. That's what we've been talking about, which it's mostly been a pretty serious and kind of me just yapping at you guys stream. So now we get to the good part of the stream, the highlight that you guys have all been waiting for. I teased it at the start. There's some good news coming. I know it might have seemed a bit not doom and gloom, but a little bit of things are changing. It's not bad change, but it's a change, and change can be scary, but it's not scary. It will be change for the good, I hope. I hope it'll be good because maybe some good things will come out of the things I want to try doing and stuff. But also, there's good news already. Even without me changing anything, chat, there is some good news. I'm not going anywhere. I know some people might have been like, oh my gosh, Van is going to graduate and quit streaming and quit being a VTuber and panicking. I'm not going anywhere. I always make this joke. I'm going to stream until they drag me kicking and screaming to the VTuber retirement home. I want to keep going. I want to keep doing this because not only does it bring me joy, but I also know it makes an impact on you guys. And this stream goes far beyond me and my dreams, but also you guys as well. You guys show up to every stream. You support me throughout this journey, whether you've been here, you've just joined, you've just found my channel, whether you've been here, since the beginning. I enjoy my community. I enjoy being a silly little guy on the internet. But at the end of the day, all of this stuff I've been yapping about just means I'm going to have to kind of just change the way I do things. There's not going to be anything less. I'm going to try and do more, but it might look different. Speaking of being around an 80 watch streak, yes, Laura, you have been around, proud of you, 80 streak. I don't know if you're going to be Eagles 150 stream watch streak, because Eagles just flexed that earlier, but maybe it's possible. It's entirely possible, one might say. But the biggest news of all, you know what? I'll make this even bigger for you, chat. The biggest news of all. Celebrating 3 years of my 1.0 at the end of September. Can you believe? Can you believe it's been 3 years almost since I've debuted this model? I can't believe that.
That's quite big.
Yes, it is. It is huge. Impressive. It is ginormous. And there are big things coming with that. I've been teasing some stuff in the sub-only channel in the Discord, !Discord. I've been teasing some things with that. There are big things coming. I'm planning to do my own twist on September, but also there might be some really big things dropping. Okay, if you get some big things dropping, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, okay, that you might want to start preparing your butts for, and maybe your wallets, because it's good stuff, it's exciting stuff, it's stuff that is really cool. And stop talking about potty time. Not everything I talk about is potty time, Laura. Just like 60% of the time. Every time. But let's just say there may or may not be, I don't want to spoil too much yet. But let's just say some things might be getting a glow up, and there might be some things launching at the end of September. So stay tuned, get hyped about that at the end of the day. This whole conversation, I want you guys to be excited and hyped, because change is good. It may seem bad, but I'm going to try and make the best of some not great situations right now, and we're going to make the most of it. And I'm still going to be your silly, goofy little wolf boss, okay? Big stuff dropping from an IBS girly is always bad news. I'll have you know I haven't had an IBS flare up in like a week, maybe more. Okay, well, I probably just jinxed it, so never mind. Never mind, I probably just jinxed it in saying that. I've actually been doing kind of good, but but yes, there we are. That is my TED Talk about my thoughts on content creation going forward. Like I said, some small changes with me having to go back to work twice a week. That's going to suck. It's going to be a struggle, but I appreciate your guys' support as that happens, as I'm trying out new things. All I ask is that if I put out a new YouTube video, I need you guys to hype me up. It's not going to be a video, like, I'm not going to be posting every day or every week. I'm going to start small, baby steps, okay? But I just need you guys to hype me up. I need you to be you need to gas me up. You need to fill my tank, okay? Because imposter syndrome, very strong. And kind of like what chaotic I saw you said earlier as I was rambling, you know? You know, I don't want to bring myself down or keep myself from like being able to achieve the things I want and know I can achieve. I want to push myself. I want to do more. I want to try things. And I just want to do cool stuff and be a silly little guy on the internet. So you guys got to be my cheerleaders. You got to hype me up. And we'll keep on adventuring on.
Gonna miss seeing you more often on a set schedule. Now you're going back to the corpo side of life. Sage, also, hi, Vanna.
Hi, Red. How are you? Yes, I'm not excited to go back to the corporal way of life, but my schedule will stay the same. I will still be streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, I will still be doing that. and those streams aren't going anywhere. So don't worry. The Tuesdays and Thursdays are set in stone, unless for whatever reason work decides to be poopy and is like, no, you cannot come in on those days, which I doubt. So, you know, so stream schedule is staying the same. It just means I might be doing some different stuff outside of stream, and I might not, you know, be able to do as much as I wanted. As I set out to at the start of the year on my bingo card, I had some pretty lofty goals, and now we're well over halfway through the year, and I've completed some of them, which I'm proud of, but also some of the other ones are bigger things that with this change in work schedule, I won't reasonably be able to accomplish. But that's okay, because I've made progress. Baby step is still progress, no matter how small. Yes. I'm looking forward to seeing the new content. Well, I don't, and see, this is the thing. I'm like, I don't want to hype it up too much, chat, because like I haven't even started on any of the stuff I've talked about. But like, I do have ideas. Would you guys like to see some of the ideas I have? I have ideas. I have them written down, you know? Ease yourself into changes rather than rip the Band-Aid. Having to do the same. Exactly, HH, right? And that's the thing is like, as much as I'm like, oh, I want to do all of this all at once, I know that's super unrealistic. Which is my problem, is I'm like, I gotta do everything now. Which is weird, because it's funny, because for work, I'm like, no, we don't have to do everything now. We can do baby steps. We can do little things, you know, work towards all these big things. But with streaming and like content creation, which it's, I guess it's because it's my hobby and something I'm more passionate about and brings me more joy. I'm like, no, we gotta do it all now, but we don't. Good things take time, okay? Which is something I struggle with, because I need the instant dopamine hit from accomplishing things. I struggle with long-term goals, right? Which is why I created the bingo card at the start of the year. But I'm going to be more mindful going forward. I'm going to try more things that scare me. I'm going to keep on being your cursed chaotic wolf overlord. So thank you for watching my rant. I'm going to end the YouTube stream now. So YouTube, we're going to still be talking over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Vanaquin for a little bit longer. But the YouTube portion of this stream is coming to an end. So I appreciate you watching on YouTube. If you are new to the channel and this is your first time watching me on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to me and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Maybe even a comment if you're feeling a little spicy. That all of that helps going a long way to sharing my content with other people who might like it if you did. And I stream on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That's where you can catch me when I'm not live on YouTube. And you can find me at Vanaquin on all social media, from Blue Sky to Instagram to TikTok. And of course, my Discord link is in the description below. And so is my merch with Uwu Market. I got my merch today. I posted it on Blue Sky. The hoodie and sweatshirt are in. They came out chef's kiss. They're so soft and to the touch. I love them. I'm going to live in the hoodie. So get your merch. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, but if you want a comfy hoodie as we go into the fall season, you want something to stay warm and cozy like I like to do, the hoodie, chef's kiss, the sweatshirt, chef's kiss, and other people have gotten the sweatpants and the t-shirts and the stickers. All of the merch is coming out great. So whatever you get, it's going to look really cool, and it also supports me. So that link is in the description below, and I will see you in the next YouTube video. And I will see you in the next YouTube video. Thank you for watching, YouTube, and I'll see you